Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Record Players podcast, objectively the best opinion in music. Today, we're going to be looking at Doja Cat's latest offering, her third studio album, Planet Her. Is it any good, or are we being trolled? Let's get into it.
Damn. I was like, he's brought the production value up here, but no.
What?
God damn.
What? How dare you? Okay. Australia's worse off on the world stage by the fact this guy is on the Spotify charts, I tell you. It was going so well. I had such high hopes for you.
I'm gonna pass over to Dennis. You're an engineer.
I felt the spirit. I wouldn't be surprised if I got this off someone off the street selling their CD for like £5. How do I stop it?
This is crazy.
Cool. So Doja Cat, this is her third offering, Planet Her. Wide array of different topics that are being discussed, from female sexuality to R&B, kissing, to female empowerment.
That's my favorite type of kissing. R&B kissing.
And who better to discuss these topics than three men?
Yeah. So my first experience of Doja Cat was actually when we did the Spotify Top 10 and we looked at Kiss Me More. And the first thing that I was blown away with was just the level of bars that was on that single. Now, Hadi, what was your first experience with Doja Cat?
To be honest, I can't remember, but definitely heard that song a lot, not just through us doing the Spotify thing. Just like, it's quite a big song. I don't know, I'd like always see it playing when I'm unfortunately browsing the old TikTok, and it's like a viral thing on there. So at this point, I'm pretty sick of it. I was trying to like listening back to in the context of the album. I think it's all right, but
well, that's like a massive thing of hers, isn't it? Is she's all over fucking TikTok with the tracks she's making. Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. I could hear pretty much every track in a context of a short viral clip.
Yeah, I think she's always been active on the old social media. I think she's had a couple of hits, particularly I think Moo was pretty big on the old TikTok.
Yeah, that's when she first came into my consciousness of a very like memey song, right?
She's been like fucking all over the place with it. She was in like some alt-right forums and shit.
What?
She's had loads of fucking online controversy and shit. She's a massive fucking troll.
Yeah, from doing my research, it seems as though she is notorious for being a troll.
Yeah. Which, like, more power to her.
What about you, Jack? You mentioned her, I think this was probably off camera, you said something along the lines of she doesn't give a fuck to the same level as Tyler.
Yeah.
So have you come across her before?
I knew about her because like I don't listen to much like top 40 music outside of when we do this sort of stuff. But I knew of her as a like trolly kind of personality, I guess. But yeah, like she's just got the same kind of thing of like she's gonna do what she wants and say what she finds funny, and then regardless of what other people think about it, it'll be.
Yeah, no, I got that. I got that a lot. Like there's a couple of lines in here which I don't think she can get away with. Like not other R&B pop singers probably couldn't get away with. But yeah, from the word go, from track one, woman, comes out right off the bat. Just being completely unapologetic. She's got one line in it which is like divine feminine, I'm feminine. It's a very girl powery type of track.
I thought she was spitting on that track. I was not expecting her like rapping the second section just with limited knowledge. I thought it was a really great opener if we're going to start with that.
She said
switching up her flow, her delivery. She even had the patois second part of her verse. I was like, this is sick. I was super into it.
That Jamaican patois.
Yeah.
I thought it was sick, and she's actually come out as saying that's her favorite verse that she's ever written. Which is, I guess, high praise.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was most surprised with over the album, was just like the quality of delivery and the lyrics at times do kind of go into that Megan Thee Stallion era that we were talking about. Like there's the tropes and they come up a lot, but this is definitely like a fresher delivery of that, and it's got more character by a country fucking mile than Megan Thee Stallion did on any track.
Yeah, I like her character in general. I like the general flow, her Doja Cat's flow when she's rapping. She's got a really good style. It's different, but it's I think it's a really good style. It works for whatever she's trying to do.
I think within, I guess, amongst her peers, this album kind of at least I get the impression that she's like quite or on the more versatile end, because I don't think I can think of someone who's this mainstream who can like go from like I guess like a more traditional singing approach to rapping, but on top of that, her delivery's changing all the time. She can go from like being like really hoarse to really like aggressive to like on a lot of tracks she did like, the little high pitched whining, almost like childlike delivery. That kind of stuff I didn't like so much, but I was impressed with how much she was able to switch it up. Depending on the track.
There's a few different genres that are done on this record, album, mixtape, whatever you want to call it.
Less noggins.
If you try and tell me this isn't an album, I will come over to your house and beat you up.
I
mean, by the standard of album lengths we've been doing, this is effectively is an EP, because it was on the other side of the hour mark.
Compared to her, which was a full half hour longer than this.
But that's one other good thing I want to get out real quick. When you got an album that's, I think it's about 45 minutes, there were definitely some duds on here, but it didn't overstay its welcome.
Definitely not.
Which increased my appreciation of the album.
I enjoyed it
guys.
I enjoyed it from beginning to end. There were a few duds, which we can get into in our top 3, bottom 3. But I wanted to say that there's various genres that are done really, really well. I picked out on R&B, done really well. Obviously, hip hop and rap, proper spitting, done really well. And I did hear some straight up pop tracks done really well. So I guess hats off to Doja Cat for just being that versatile. Jack, what did you pick out any particular genres or anything about the style, the Doja Cat's versatility throughout this album?
I think the thing that I liked the most was the like Afrobeat stuff on Woman. I think that I like, besides the hip hop rap stuff, which is obviously like their comfort zone. I thought that was obviously done really well. But the stuff outside of that, Woman for me was by far like when she sounded the most comfortable and like she'd had the most like progression of getting used to or listening to more of that genre and getting kind of the best reaction from it.
With that reggaeton beat. That type of thing.
What did you guys think of one I thought that was a bit of a genre diversion? I'd be interested. Ain't Shit, track 11, because that track I almost got, and not to say that I think she was on a level, but I was almost reminded of like a Janelle Monáe, a very symphonic, orchestrated, like not like a pompous track, but you know what I mean. It had that kind of really kind of vibe, and I got senses of late career Andre 3000 on that track. It was very different. So I wondered if it seemed like it'd be one you'd either love or hate. Plus what she's doing with her vocal delivery is, it's that very, very odd sound. Did you fuck with that track?
I think she, I wouldn't probably pick it out as one of my top 3, but it's probably not too far removed from that.
Because I really like it. I thought it broke up the album quite a bit, because on the latter half, the album did get a bit mellow at points. There was a few almost like softer ballads. So it was nice to have something like that to break it up.
I gotta be honest, some of the more poppy songs weren't so much to my liking. Those are the more, and Ain't Shit is one, Imagine is one.
Oh, so you didn't like Ain't Shit and thought it was poppy?
it was okay. It's not that I didn't like it. I did think it was. I thought it was funny because 1999, Dr. Dre, bitches ain't shit. 2021, Doja Cat, niggas ain't shit. So I thought on that, comparing it, I thought it was interesting to see how things have changed in that,
flipping that,
particularly in the genre that she's in, that she operates in, partly hip hop, which has been so misogynistic. I thought it was hilarious for her to come out with a track with this kind of message. So that, on that side, I did kind of like it for what it sort of represents, but I wasn't as hot on the more poppy songs like this, like Imagine.
Imagine was very commercially oriented. I really didn't like that one. Yeah,
Love to Dream. Yeah, it wasn't so hot on some of those.
She had a few different producers on this album work with her, didn't she?
Quite a few.
Quite a lot of writers as well on each track.
Yeah, I think
definitely wasn't led just by her.
The most successful for me was probably Y2K, who is the person who did the beat for, or Yeti Beats is on quite a few good ones as well. Yeti Beats was on Woman. Y2K did the track options with Jid and Payday with Young Thug, and I think the Ariana Grande one as well. Yeah. So he was one of the big producers. Another one of the big producers is someone that she's worked with a few times. Curtis
McKenzie?
I'm not entirely sure what their relationship is. It's like DJ something, but he's the one who Kesha
DJ
is...
Dr. Luke?
Yes, no. I think so.
No, maybe not. I might be confusing.
He's the one where
Sorry.
there's beef with Kesha and him.
About her material, is it?
No, about her. His treatment of her. It's been thrown out, so I don't want to be give it an allegedly for this, but supposedly he's been sexually inappropriate with artists.
Right.
He's only on 3 of the tracks on this album, I think. But they're the 3 singles.
Dr. Luke. Dr. Luke is on You Right, Need to Know, and not on Kiss Me More, which I think is the other single. But I think You Right is one of the singles with The Weeknd.
Yeah.
And I think Need to Know as well is one of the singles. Which the videos for this are interesting, and I would like to get into that. But before we do, that is one of the questions. One of the questions that I had for you guys was about the instrumentals. I was told off last week because I called hers instrumentals backing tracks, and some people were triggered. So I should call them instrumentals from now on.
Just reminded me of karaoke.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. Yeah. He's belittling the artist.
So one criticism that I've heard floating around is that overall the instrumentals weren't as diverse. Jack, I'll start off with you because you started off talking about it. What do you think of the diversity of the instrumentals? There are a lot of producers. It sounds curated though, because even though there's a lot of producers, there's a uniform sound going throughout the album that I found. What did you think?
Yeah, I think I would have said it was it's not a cohesive through and through album by any means, but in terms of a hip hop pop artist working with, like you're saying, a lot of different producers that are going to make a lot of different sounds, I wouldn't have picked that out as something that was a weakness of it necessarily.
Yeah.
There are some tracks where the production I'm not as big a fan of, but on the whole, I think that the bringing together of enough styles for it to be interesting was on the level, and I think that having enough of a continuous thread to find between the tracks so it doesn't sound completely alien was there as well. So I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I completely agree. I think there was a good balance. There's a good balance. Obviously, loads of producers, but there was enough sonic cohesion that they didn't really feel like tacked on like a compilation. But I feel between the tracks there was enough genre variation. So I would agree with everything Jack said and argue that point. There were certain tracks or certain genres that I wasn't too keen on, like some of the slower songs or poppier songs. But I like the fact that it wasn't just that. There were the kind of like islandy songs mixed with kind of more ballad songs, like Alone, for instance, which was one of the softer tracks and one of my favorites actually. I found there was enough variety in there.
Yeah, what did you think of the content? You did mention that, you know, as three guys, it's fairly difficult to like talk about this. But yeah, there's a lot of talk of kissing boys, a lot of talk of love and dick in through the content. What did you think, Hardy? Did you find it difficult to relate to it, or was that not much of an issue?
I didn't really go into this looking to relate. I mean, it's the same thing with like with Megan. The subject matter is probably maybe the weakest point of the album, but you just got to go in looking for other elements. And I found enough. I found enough enjoyment in the elements like the production, her delivery and switch ups in how she performed. That was enough for me to be like, okay, that. You know, there's no point in me focusing on the lyrical content.
Yeah.
But if you were someone that was very lyrics driven, or content driven, shall I say, I don't think you're gonna get much out of this if that's your main driver for listening to music.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I'm not much of a lyric focused guy. And I can just sort of get into her delivery and her performance. So for instance, one of my favorite songs, and I have to admit that, you know, I ended up changing this as one of my favorite songs, but it was You Right, just because of the way that it was delivered and the performance and the collaboration of The Weeknd. It just sounded great. And then I read the lyrics, and it's all about like being in love with a guy and like being conflicted about being in a relationship but still just wanting some dick. You know, it was like, all right, this maybe I shouldn't choose this as one of my favorite tracks. So I will put my hand up and say I caved in that situation.
It does depend on what you're looking for. I think if you just have like an open-minded approach about what you want, then it's going to be easier to accept it.
On that front,
and that works for the relationship as well as the album.
But I mean, it's the same thing. Like when we're going back to the Megan album. I know you guys weren't hot on it. I was okay, but yeah, I'm just enjoying the sound of her rapping. That's enough for me to override it. But yeah, over the course of an album, she had a long album, right? It does deteriorate. Luckily, this again, it's shorter, it's sweeter. It doesn't wear on me so much.
All right. Do you guys have anything lastly to say before we move on to top threes?
What do you guys think of the JID feature? Being that we're all,
I thought it works. It works really well, in my opinion. Simply because of what you said in terms of Doja Cat's ability to change flows on a dime, and JID's ability to change flows on a dime. I mean, he's going from straight up hip hop to a kind of like
melodic,
auto-tuned little section, little couple of lines, and then goes back to like flowing almost R&B. Like,
he showed on that track, right? I loved it because he didn't just put in a verse that you would hear on one of his albums. He showed, well, all right, here's my take, right? He showed his boss, J. Cole, how to do it.
Yeah.
You know our thoughts from the J. Cole review, mixing in the lyrical with the melodic. That's how you do it, J. Cole. Learn from your son.
Yeah. Yeah, JID is the GOAT at that, I would argue.
Right. After Earth Gang.
Yeah, Jack, what did you think of that JID performance?
Yeah, I thought it was one of the highlights of the album. I think generally the features on the album were pretty good, but that was definitely one of the ones where you could tell they kind of came together and worked on it, and it was. I don't want to say bigger than the sum of their parts, because I think I prefer JID when he's on just JID stuff, and he's like, you know, that's more my style. But for the pairing of Doja Cat and somebody else, I think this was the strongest on the album by far.
Yeah, I thought it was good to see like a collaboration you wouldn't expect, and both artists went well. They didn't clash with each other, and yeah, it did kind of feel like a pairing, like you said, like they worked together. Which is what I didn't get. Probably my weakest one was The Weeknd. I felt The Weeknd phoned it in, and that was to me that kind of felt like the standard kind of like here's the stems, record and ship it over without the artist like clicking.
As in, it was more of a tacked on performance.
For the Weeknd, he came in, the sound, the general vibe of the song completely switched up, and then it went back into it when Doja came back.
Yeah.
So it did that thing where it's just, for me, you could just tell that the artists weren't in the studio together making the record. And maybe they are, but that's the vibe I got. Like you really want to feel like it's a in-person collaborative effort for me when I hear a feature.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that, mostly because I like any Weeknd performance in general. But yeah, now that I think back to it, it is kind of like Doja Cat section, and then it's a Weeknd song, and then it goes back to being a Doja Cat song.
Yeah, I mean, another one I don't want to go on too long, but another one you can contrast it with is the Young Thug feature, where I wasn't too much of a fan of that song in general, but again, his delivery and flow and everything fit with hers, which again had that true collaborative sound. It just wasn't for me sonically, but yeah, The Weeknd stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, one feature I noticed that I'd like to pick out is Ariana Grande, who I didn't realize how risque Ariana Grande really
I always
is.
find it weird. Yeah, I always find it weird because I see a picture of her and I'm like, you're underage. I know she must be like, she's probably like our age, right, or something. Yeah. But she perpetually looks like a child. So when she has those type of lyrics, I'm like, I don't know, man. Should I be listening to this?
Yeah,
it's like 5 foot tall. Like Dennis with that fucking ice cream thing all over again.
Yeah. She's my version of your Olivia Rodrigo.
Shit was gross.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our top threes. At the top of my top three is, as you'd have probably guessed, Woman. Number 2, Options. And number 3 is the first single, Kiss Me More, which one of you guys is probably going to be sick of by now. Fun fact, that was inspired by Let's Get Physical by Olivia Newton-John. And
I can hear it.
I watched an interview where she said that, and then I was like, oh yeah, the Kiss Me More, Let's Get Physical. She got that little rhythmic, the rhythm from that little section. Jack, I'll go to Hattie. What was your top 3?
2 of the same. Woman, definitely. Great way to start an album. Great display of her ability as a rapper as well. Options with Jid, same as you as well. Catchy song, great beat. Jid murders it and like I said, accommodates what the song needs as opposed to just putting in a verse. And then the third, it was a toss-up between a few. I'll probably go Alone, the penultimate track. It was one of the more softer and ballady ones, but that was one where the lyrical content diverged a bit. She was kind of talking more about kind of recognizing your self-worth and being okay with being on your own, which I thought was cool, and just generally the vibe the song respected. So
I like the guitar on that track, on that instrumental, and it really reminded me of like early 2000s R&B.
Yes, yeah. I just like even like little elements like in the chorus, even when she says the title word and she's like alone, and they like layer it with like this deep vocal. I don't know, it's just like a little touch that just sounds so sick. But yeah,
Jack, give us a taste of some of your top 3.
I mean, I'm gonna just retread the same ground. I think picked some pretty safe ones. Kiss Me More, I thought was a good SZA feature. I thought she was another one who their styles gelled really well. I don't think there was as much potential clash, considering that they're like, it's a pretty like classic pairing up of SZA being like a great singer with a quite like sultry voice, and then Doja Cat being a rapper with the more kind of slightly harsher or like tinnier tones coming through with their rapping style. They're like, that's a pairing as old as fucking hip hop. So yeah, they worked really well. Then Options, Jid and woman. So yeah, just all the same shit.
Is this a bad thing when our picks are in kind of unison almost?
I think so.
Does it mean the album has a disparity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think, that
But it's also
there's a
taste,
certain
isn't
number
it?
of tracks which are cut above the rest. Yeah, sorry, what are you going to say, Jack?
I agree with that point, but there's also our taste as a group is like we've got that like Venn diagram bit in the middle. I'm trying to do some gang signs. We've got that like our crossover is going to be greater than random people.
Yeah,
True.
But yeah, having said that, there's definitely bits of this album that like I would be happy to cut.
Yeah, well, let's give us some of your bottom three then.
Some of mine.
Yep. Some songs that you'd prefer to cut.
I mean, not to throw hate at your first selection, but I think You Right was like very middle of the road in terms of content and delivery. I think.
All right.
I think the first time I heard it, I like the Weeknd stuff was cool, but then it just made me sad that I preferred the Weeknd on someone else's beat than on the stuff that he releases himself. And then I went back.
So you thought he was better here than on the stuff he's been putting out for a?
Yeah, but I think he's shit now. Like
Okay.
his own stuff is weak. Yeah.
You think he's just phoning it in at this point?
I mean, he could do. I don't know how hard he's trying, but he's just got no edge. Like he's yeah.
Agreed.
Besides that, what else? The Young Thug thing I didn't love.
Me neither. Worst song on the album, I thought.
Yeah, I liked the beat for it, but yeah, the rest of it I wasn't mad on.
There was Young Thug did have one line which was jokes, which was "Hope you want to fuck 'cause my money long like limousine." I was like, what does that even mean?
Nobody knows, but it's provocative.
For me, it's going to be the same. I think in terms of dislikes, the Weeknd song, Young Thug song, and I think you mentioned it once, Dennis. But Imagine, that was probably my least favorite. Again, just because it's one of those super commercial, auto-tune laden songs. Yeah.
What's disappointing about that song as well is that it's kind of like about her career up to that point. And I would have so much preferred if this was a rap song rather than a R&B, more
a
poppy
rap
song.
over the backing track, should we say?
Right. Yeah. Coming over to my side, are we? Right. So shall we put this up on the board?
Let's do it.
From GOAT down to trash.
It is now officially mind blown. I've changed the graphic, so we can stop.
I think that's better terminology. Yeah.
I mean, you've been telling me that for 4 months, so I finally got around to it. Yeah.
Awesome. From mind blown down to trash. Now, this didn't blow my mind, but I was thoroughly entertained throughout it. I was contemplating between putting it on Fire or Mind Blown. What made me want to put it on Mind Blown was the subject matter, that I couldn't so much relate to it. But then I thought, nah, I just have to get over that. There are some solid tracks on here, so this is a Fire from me. Hadi.
I thought you were going to say you're going to put it on Mind Blown. I thought you were going to commit to it. I was like,
think this deserves the same rank
as
Tyler.
I was waiting for this.
Yeah, I thought Woman was great. I loved that, the way that she was Jamaican there for a second. Obviously, Options, that is decent. Kiss Me More is decent. I'm probably going to come back to. And
I'm hearing more decent
R&B,
than anything else.
Options. It was a good Jid verse. Yeah, you're probably right on that front. I'm not sure if I'll come back to it time and time again, but it made a good. The album made a good impression on me anyway. What's your rating then, Jack? Seeing as you clearly disagree.
I mean, this is a backpat, isn't it? Surely there's some good tracks, there's some bad tracks, there's a couple of good features, a couple of bad features. Like some of the lyrics are good, not all the lyrics are good. It's not bad, but it's not as good as any of the Fire albums.
All right, so my previous rating of putting this on fire for putting Call Me If You Get Lost on Fire is going to bite me in the ass. So, Hattie, where would you put this?
Yeah, you're mad for putting this on fire. I did enjoy it. I mean, when I was looking back through it, I enjoyed more than I disliked. Much of the same sentiment as Jack said. Some good beats, some bad beats, some good features, some bad features. But I mean, overall, I think it did well to exceed my expectations of what I was imagining when I went into it and showcasing her versatility. But it's the quintessential backpat album, and I went in expecting something in the ribbon area.
So this is the definitive backpat album. This is going to go in your reference.
Yeah, this could be the pivot point. Every other album would fall either side of it, even within the same tier.
Okay, so by consensus, that puts this in backpat. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comments. Any final words, Hattie?
Yeah. Her?
Arrested Development joke there?
Exactly.
Totally missed that the whole time behind you.
Do you not see? You see Job?
Yeah.
It's a very niche reference.
I just thought you were a week late and thought we were still doing Her, but like a full album review.
Yeah. No, it was from the title of this album, but yeah, it could have applied to the Her review.
Nice. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was the videos. So I think the videos had some kind of theme where she was some kind of alien that landed on some other planet. So there's a video for Need to Know, which is like some cyberpunk aliens going out clubbing type thing, which is really cool. Obviously, Kiss Me More, where she's like playing video games with Scissor, and there's a bunch of aliens, and she can remote control an alien.
Yeah, there's definitely like at least like a loose concept or theme that's tying the album together with like the title Planet Her, but I didn't delve into it enough to realize it. But.
Yeah, no, videos are kind of cool, kind of cyberpunky, kind of sci-fi. Jack, any last thoughts?
Nah.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was Doja Cat, Planet Her. We gave it a solid backpat. Tell us what you think.
Backpat. What about solid backpat? Don't talk yourself back up to fire.
Tell us.
And the man thinks that she's putting out music on par with Tyler. That's one for you to sleep on, Jack.
I mean, I've already disregarded both of your opinions about music from last week, so
only took 25 episodes.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Right.
I'm like you. I come into every episode expecting a ribbon from you. Not even the album selection.
Oh, so our general performances are ribbons as it stands. Right.
You're one bad review away from going in the bin.
Well, on that bombshell, thanks for watching. Tune in next week where we'll do another album review. Peace.
Peace.